Good afternoon, everyone. Hope you all are having a great day so far. So today, we are inside a Mazda 3 2011, and we are taking a look at the passenger door lock, which seems to be working intermittently. When you press the lock or unlock switch, sometimes it works, and sometimes it doesn't. So, in today's video, we will be removing that switch, and we will be diagnosing the issue. So, without further ado, let's go ahead and get started. So the first thing we need to do is behind this plastic panel, there is a little gap which you need to get some kind of flat tool to pry off this protective plastic cover. After you pry off the plastic cover, there is going to be this Phillips head screw, which we will need to remove this plastic housing for the door handle. Once that screw has been removed, we could gently remove the housing by prying in between the bezel and the door trim to move it outwards. After this trim has been pried outwards, on the back of the lock mechanism itself, we have two screws, one in the top left corner and one in the bottom right, which we will need to remove before removing the switch. After removing those two screws, the switch should just fall out and be free. Then we can press downwards on this harness to disengage it from the switch. Once you have done that, the switch should be free from the housing. Now that the switch has been removed, we can take a closer look at taking it apart, and this is where the fun begins. On each side of the switch, there are these plastic tabs, and these plastic tabs are retained by these pieces of plastic on each side. So what we need to do is gently pry upwards on these tabs to provide enough clearance to allow this entire piece to slip through. This is easier said than done, as if you apply too much pressure upwards on these plastics, then there's a possibility that it could break, and then it would just be loose and shaking around. What I generally recommend to do is to be patient with it. Take something that has two prongs, like a pair of tweezers, and place it underneath both of those pieces of plastic to provide that constant pressure upwards from each side so that you could gently work it from side to side until the mechanism is removed. Once again, this is very difficult, so I would strongly encourage you to take your time while doing this, making sure that you do not break these plastic tabs. After all four locking tabs have been disengaged, you can remove this entire board and see the contact pads underneath the switch as well. From here, we will take a little bit of isopropyl alcohol to clean the pads thoroughly. And after these pads have been cleaned and set to dry, you can take a closer look at this board here. Now that we are viewing the board, we want to check if there are any broken traces. We want to test continuity to each of these points, and we also want to check this component here to read the correct ohmic value that is represented on it. So just for the sake of being thorough, I'm going to first start by cleaning the entire board with isopropyl alcohol, as well as all of the contact pads. And once that is dry, I will proceed to reflow all of the joints as well. I currently have my soldering iron set to 340 degrees Celsius. I will proceed by reflowing all of these joints by first applying a little bit of flux to each joint, and then with a small amount of solder on the tip of my iron, I will reflow each joint. Including the joints on this component as well. We will then clean the board with isopropyl alcohol to remove any residual flux. And then proceed to check continuity on each of these points. After checking for continuity, we can read the ohmic value on this tiny component here, and that is correct. From here, now that we have determined there are no broken traces, everything is clean, there is continuity, and that component is reading as it should, now we can go ahead and proceed to put these both back together by placing this notched side where the notch is here and simply squeezing it together until those retaining plastic clips go back into place. It might be a little bit tough, but they should clip in like so. We should also move the switch back and forth to make sure that it's locking and locking as it should be. And that seems to be working as it should. Now that this has been fully assembled, let's go back to the car and put it back into place. So here we are back inside the car. We have the switch connected to the harness, and now we are testing the lock and unlock functionality. And now it works as it should. To reinstall the switch, you simply screw it back into place with placing those screws in the top left and the bottom right. You push the housing back into place, reinstall that center screw, and reinstall the plastic cover. And there you have it. So after this procedure, the lock should be working every single time. So thank you all for watching. If you have any questions, feel free to leave them in the comments. And if you like this video, be sure to like and subscribe if you'd like. But in any case, thank you all for watching, and I hope you all have a great day. Take care.